Before I talk about scars, I want to talk about ink. I have a best friend with fabulous tattoos. She got inked by Kat Von D before that reality TV show. She's inspired by Egyptian goddesses and plants and cats. Amazing, colorful tattoos. People stop her and ask to take photos. My best friend also has a lot of baggage. Years ago, she told me one of the reasons she spent so much of her limited resources on ink was it stopped her from taking out a knife and slicing her limbs until she passed out. Honestly, I was happy she had a coping mechanism. I could worry a little less about those emergency trips to the hospital or the less than helpful husband. Tattooing wasn't my coping mechanism, but we all self medicate. My self medication was pretty much wine at that time. I was a bit too frightened by the idea of pain to get a tattoo. I wanted one, but it just didn't seem like a fun experience. I'd talked about it for years. But according to the internet, you shouldn't get tattooed when drunk, and I didn't think I could be brave enough without a little bit of wine in me. But there's also a reality TV show about making those kind of decisions too. But before she got her first tattoo, and before I had children, the BFF and I would go to Vegas and pretend we were glamorous. On one of our trips, we made our first trip to a tattoo shop way up the strip. Not the pretty, bright lights Vegas, but a really kind of dark and somewhat forbidding place. She had split up with the less than useful husband, and she wanted a new look. She decided to get her nose pierced. I was there to hold her hand. It was an experience. The guy who was doing the piercing had a metal ring underneath the skin of his hand. He was hardcore and wouldn't let me perform my hand-holding duties. We were not going to argue with him. She got her nose pierced, we drank cocktails, maxed out a credit card, and left Vegas a few days later. It was probably a year after that she started getting tattoos and other parts of her body pierced. He obviously hadn't scared her as much as he had scared me. I am not going to tell you that I'm a stellar example of good decision making or that I don't have my own share of baggage. And this isn't the time or place to look at some of the things I've done during lockdown, mainly to my hair. But a few years ago, I had a situation I couldn't handle. And that is when I discovered the addictive nature of harming my own body. You don't need a sharp instrument, though a good pair of scissors can make some nice quick cuts. Grow your nails out, show a bit of perseverance, and put in a little effort, and you can sit in work meetings slowly but surely, gouging out your own flesh. And after that gouging, you can look down and see the pain you feel. Punish yourself for not figuring out a solution to your crisis. Be in control of at least one thing in your life. It hurts while you do it. Use fingernails, and chances are the wounds will get infected. Then move on to another part of the body. I did this for months before I was overwhelmed with shame and went to the GP. Arms covered in various marks and various stages of healing and hurting, reopened almost daily. I could see my despair all over my body. I'm still a little surprised at how few other people saw it, though. The GP sent me to the community mental health nurse, who upped the antidepressants and added anti-anxiety medication. I loved the anti-anxiety medication, made getting on a plane so much easier. But that is a digression. The support I got from the mental health team, from a GP I expected to be more judgmental, it saved my life, but that is a different story. What you want to know is that over the course of a summer, I slowly stopped. Sometimes it was I would wait for the song I was listening to end before I cut. That was the bargain I made with myself. And most of the time, the urge to cut didn't last until the end of the song. Eventually, I stopped causing new damage, and I finally stopped revisiting the old damage. I let everything heal, which left me with lots of white scars on my arms in various shapes, depending on the method that I'd used at the time. I was ready to start cognitive behavioral therapy on the NHS. I was ready to try and be better behaved. I was ready to tell the world I was better. And it was then that I was ready to get ink. One word written across my right wrist, hearth, the Welsh word for beautiful. A message to myself that I am beautiful. that my flesh is beautiful and that it deserves more respect than being a canvas for whatever pain I was feeling. And I still tell myself this every day. I got my tattoo done locally in Carrickfergus, and it hurt. And it got wrapped in cling film, and I did all my aftercare. 6 months later, the best friend came to the UK. We were tourists in London. She came over to Northern Ireland. We had afternoon tea in the Merchant. And she went to the shop in Carrickfergus to get a memento, a tattoo of a ribbon with charms on it around her wrist, a little crown, a shamrock, a flag, and space for one more, the artist told her. So she included a gold heart with her initials and mine. I'm the only person whose name she will keep on her body forever. Today, I still miss the feeling of pain. I miss the being in control of something. I miss being my own punisher. Maybe that is why I'm planning on my next tattoo. This will be my third when lockdown ends. The second tattoo, which involved big, deep needles and happened about 15 months ago, and this next one that I hope to get, are different from the first. These additional tattoos are my messages to the world. I scar my body artistically to tell people who care to look who I am. I can't even see the second tattoo. I just know it's there, and that's enough. But my first tattoo, it was for me. I see it every time I look down at my arms and see the scars from the time when I chose pain and blood as a way to cope and a way to get through one more day. The one word covers some of the scars. It talks to me every day. It really needs a bit of re-inking now. And I still need this daily reminder. I may have picked up a knife since then, and I may have held it to my body when I've wondered why I thought I could make different decisions. But I haven't pressed the blade in. I haven't used my nails. I haven't even left the slightest scratch. For now, the ink reminds me I don't need these new scars. I just might need a little bit more ink.